on, everybody? It's Rob Bridges. We're back here live at the 2018 Ballislife All-American game. And to my left, man, we got Ballislife All-American, West Virginia commit Jordan McCabe. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Wisconsin legend, white chocolate. How do you feel about the white chocolate, man? Do you something you embrace, or are you just like, let me create my own path? Or
yeah, I mean, so obviously white chocolate. You know, Jason Williams just being in the same breath. You know, people mention you in the same breath as a guy like that. You
right.
got to take it as a compliment. You know,
absolutely.
What I mean? There's people who twist it and stuff like that and be like, oh, you know, he's too flashy or he won't be able to play at the next level and all that. So when I was younger, I took offense to it.
Right.
Now I don't really care because I'm just trying to make my own way. You know,
I love it. I love it.
The first Jordan McCabe. I don't need to be white chocolate 2.0 or the next
exactly.
Jason Williams. He did his thing. I'm gonna do mine.
You have a video on YouTube that's clearly viral. I can't count how many times I've watched it. So just talk about like how life changed for you after that video came out, man.
You know what? You know, it was a whirlwind, and I was really young, and there's a lot of things that I had to deal with that most kids don't have to.
Right.
And that's all credit to my parents. You know.
Right.
I had to grow up really fast in terms of learning to deal with adversity, learning to deal with, you know, people hating on you and all that type of stuff. So that's all credit to them
right.
and how they raised me and stuff. So you know, I can't thank them enough for doing what they did. But the video went viral. Stuff, you know, kind of blew up, and I just took it day by day and had fun with it and knew I still had a main goal ahead of me, way ahead of me, so there was always more to work for.
I mean, I think with mixtapes in general, there's always going to be pros and cons, because the pros, it gets you exposure, it
right.
gets you seen.
Right.
But the cons is like everybody takes it as a negative, like you made the mixtape yourself. You know, it's like,
right.
You're just out here playing basketball, playing the game you love. So. I mean, you're going to West Virginia next year with Bob Huggins. I mean, I think you're stepping into a perfect situation with Javon Carter and Daxter Miles leaving. What has Coach Huggins said about your role, and what do you expect from day one?
You know, when we talked on visits and stuff like that, I told him, and you know, it was the truth, that I want to come in and be an impact player from day one. Now, whatever that means, it just all comes down to helping the team win. So when I go in there, we got a lot of guys coming back. We got a lot of guys coming in that are really, really talented, and my job is just to make them look even better. And that's what I'm going to try to do.
Being here, you got a chance to scrimmage last night. Who was probably one of the better players you matched up against last night, you'd say?
You know, I haven't got a chance to really see Mac play a lot. You know, Mac McClung, that's the same type of thing we just kind of talked about.
Right.
The whole, you know, viral sensation, blow up and all that, and then people decide to question whether or not he can hoop.
Right.
And last night, if they didn't think he could hoop, he can hoop.
Right. You know, he actually said the same thing about you up here, so that's actually pretty dope that you guys didn't coordinate it, but that's a mutual respect. So
yeah, no doubt. And we're roommates, so it works out.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
That's the first time, and it was weird when we kind of like just started talking about different things, and he was asking questions, and you know, we got kind of closer to each other, and it was weird how many similarities there were. You know what I mean? No doubt.
Who's some of your favorite players growing up? Who's your favorite player growing up? Somebody like you kind of try to pattern your game after?
Favorite player, pattern my game, two different things. Favorite player, Steph Curry. Steph's always been a guy that I've, you know, looked up to, you know, in terms of what he did.
Right, you went to the camp.
Going through Davidson and all that stuff, and all the, you know, adversity that he went through. Just coming up through a lot of guys undermining him and what he could do.
Right.
And then I got a chance to meet him, form a relationship with him, talk to him quite a bit, train with his guys and all that when I went out to the SC30 camp.
That's awesome.
So that was probably, you know, the highlight of that summer for sure.
Absolutely.
And then pattern my game. Steve Nash was somebody that I've always tried to pattern my game after, on the court, off the court. You know, he's just a guy to look up to. He does the right things, he says the right things, but he's a genuine person. Like, he's a cool dude. So if I can play half as good as him and be the half the man he is, I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a great answer, man.
Don't get caught up into everything that everybody else is doing. You know, going off to college and stuff like that, there's a lot of distractions. Every single level that you go up, I think that there's more and more distractions, especially, you know, with the name that I've kind of, you know, grown over the years with the stuff we had talked about.
Right.
The distractions become tenfold for me, and the consequences of those can be tenfold as well. So not getting caught up into all that stuff, and you know, that was coming from him. It's like he's a 2-time MVP, he's on top of the world. Him saying that, you know, obviously means a lot to me.
It puts a lot of perspective for you. Absolutely. So, looking back, this is your last high school event. What would you say like your biggest accomplishment in high school was? What you look back and say, wow, like, I can't believe that happened for me?
It was a storybook ending for us my senior year to win the state championship. There is no better feeling, and you know, every kid out there that has, you know, hoop dreams and stuff like that of playing in college and playing in the NBA, that's understandable.
Absolutely.
But if you're in high school or, you know, going into high school around that age, don't wish away those years, because now that they're over, and you know, any person outside of high school will tell you the same thing. Those are the best years of your life, you know, especially basketball and stuff like that. No one's getting paid. You're chilling. You're having fun with your boys that you grew up with.
Right.
I played in a small town where I grew up. I didn't go to prep school.
Right.
I had that option. I highly suggest kids doing that, just because, you know, you don't get that opportunity very often to play, you know, in front of your hometown and people that love you and support you.
Right. So look, one thing we can't talk about is, we'll talk about high school rankings and your thoughts on it, because I think you were probably in the 20, 30 range.
Right now?
Yeah,
I'm lower.
Really?
Yeah. So that's, you know, that's the thing is, there was a stat and stuff like that. I'm not even gonna get into that. The rankings and stuff, kids get worked up about them. You know, kids, you know, really pay attention, and they all of a sudden have, over the years, gotten, for some reason, they've really picked up, you know, in terms of what they mean, but they don't mean anything.
They don't mean anything.
You ask any of these dudes around here, the rankings and stuff give you these opportunities to go to things like this. They give you opportunities that maybe you wouldn't have gotten, and those are the exposure camps, and that's a whole different side of basketball.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, if you're getting your school paid for and you're going to college, you have the same opportunity as a McDonald's All-American or a 5-star. You know, forget all the stars, because once you get on campus,
zero. Everybody's 0 stars.
Yeah,
that's real talk. When kids understand, when you go to college, it doesn't matter if you're number 1 or 200 in the country. Like, you got to compete and work your ass off to get where you want to go.
That's right.
And I think for you, going to West Virginia, that's the perfect scenario for you. So, all right. So 5 years from now, if I'm sitting here having this conversation with you, where are you in 5 years? What's the goal in 5 years from now?
I mean, the goal in 5 years is being in the NBA, doing what Nash did. I mean, if every guy in here doesn't say that, then, I mean, I don't know.
Why are you playing basketball, right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
If your goal isn't to be the best you can possibly be and reach the goals that you've set since you were like this big, you shouldn't be playing it anyways, or you shouldn't be doing whatever it is. My goal is to be the best I possibly can. And, you know, use my platform to influence a lot of people. So 5 years from now, I hope to be at the highest platform in basketball. And then down the road past that, I hope I can influence a lot more people way off the court and do a lot more things than that. But that's the goal for short-term goal.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, you know, that's a tough thing, you know, to wrap your mind around now is the fact that you're going into college and you see all the one and dones and the two and done, you know, not finishing and whatever. You know, if your goal is to be a college dropout, that's cool. Like, there's really nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, if I had the opportunity or the chance after however many years that I don't have my degree and I can go to the NBA, which is my goal from the jump, I'm definitely going to do it. You know what I mean? So the mentality going in has to be a very balanced, you know, because some guys go in there and they're like, I'm one and done, forget all this. And then maybe they end up having to stay and they said, forget my grades, all that. Now they're screwed both ways. You know, there's two sides. There's two sides to this whole thing. So I'm trying to go in where, you know, I'm hungry. I want to prove myself that I can play at the next level, at the highest level. But at the same time, I know it's a developmental process, and I'm ready for that process. However many years it takes, I don't worry about that. I don't worry about that. For sure.
Well, man, I have to say this. Like, I was a huge fan of yours before this interview here, but sitting here talking to you, just understanding where you come from, your mindset, the focus that you have, I can't wait. A different type of kid, like, and that goes a long way, because a lot of kids don't understand that with basketball you have to be able to promote yourself, market yourself, and you have that. Yep. That's it. So, man, best of luck to you, West Virginia, man. Press Virginia. Go in there day one, do what you gotta do, man. But once again, I appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate you, man.